Oh, hello everybody, and welcome to another Throne of Eldraine draft. I'm going to keep things short. If you do enjoy the video, remember to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss any future videos, and leave a comment in the comment section down below if you do have any questions. But let's dive into the draft. Okie doke, we are using these cool artworks, so I will make sure to hover over those cards so you can see what they are, because you might not be as familiar with them, but I do like this artwork. I think it's just quite fantastic. So just that little aside. Our rare Castle Ardenvale is nothing too special. The way these lands tend to play out in Limited is like you'll very rarely get to a situation where you use them, and most of the time they're just like a plains or a island or a forest or whatever that equivalent land is. They are just a bit low impact, so I don't generally first pick them, though you will play this in any deck that is white. The uncommons are actually all pretty good. Embereth, Shieldbreaker, Inspiring Veteran, and Mareleaf Pixie are all good. I think of those three, Embereth Shieldbreaker gets the edge for me because it usually does have a target in this format thanks to food, relatively good artifacts running around as well. And also, the fact that it is one color versus a double colored card does increase the chance that you're going to be able to play it significantly. It is also a knight, so you can get it back with your Barrow Witches and things like that, so I think this card is quite good, and probably better than all of the commons in this pack, though it is close with Outmuscle. In my opinion, this is the best common in the pack, followed by, yeah, the rest of the commons are really mediocre, like Curious Pair is okay in the right deck, Foreboding Fruit's okay in the right deck, but I think in this pack I go Embereth Shieldbreaker barely nudges out Outmuscle, like I think it's really close, then whichever one you don't pick. So Embereth Shieldbreaker, then Outmuscle, and then I think that the gold uncommons are powerful enough compared to the commons that it's worth taking them. So I think I would then go probably Inspiring Veteran and then Mareleaf Pixie, just because I think red-white is a little bit better than green-blue. Green-blue sometimes lacks an identity as a color combination. And then I'd probably just take like one of the random commons. But I think we're going to start things off with an Embereth Shieldbreaker. I think this card is quite good, and I'm pretty happy to start off with one. Okay. Now we move on to the second pick. An uncommon is missing from this pack, so we don't get a ton of information about what we're supposed to be color-wise here. There is not a red card in the pack other than Blow Your House Down, so we can't follow this up with another red card. Though there is very strong common, like rare. There's a pretty good rare with Blacklands Paragon. The fact that this can target itself makes it significantly better because you can use this as like a destroy target attacking creature, gain 3 life, which can be quite powerful. There's also a Beanstalk Giant, which I think is really close in power level with Blacklands Paragon, and I'm actually not 100% sure which one I want to be taking here. Definitely warrants some further thought, but I think that I'm leaning towards the Beanstalk Giant right now, just because red-black is not the greatest color combination, even though these are both knights, and this is a nice payoff for knights. Maybe that would make me lean towards taking it, but I do think red-green is a pretty solid color combination, even though Beanstalk Giant isn't. There's a lot of tension in this pack. I keep not finishing my sentences, so I'll just flesh out what I'm trying to say. So basically, normally Blacklands Paragon, normally red-black is not a great color combination because it just kind of is like a tad too slow a lot of the time. But Blacklands Paragon and Embereth Shieldbreaker would be a great start for a black-red deck, especially because this is a knight, this is a knight. There's a nice little synergy there. Also, red-green is typically a very aggressive deck, but Beanstalk Giant goes in more of a grindy, more slow deck. So this would go into at its best in a green-black deck or a green-blue deck. But not really into a green-red aggro deck. So, for example, if I curve my 2-drop into my Beanstalk Giant Fertile Footsteps, that's not really where I want to be. The commons here are okay. Unexplained Vision's a solid blue common. Garenbrick Carver's solid. Jousting Dummy's solid, but I'm not taking them over the uncommons here. This is actually really tricky. I think Blacklands Paragon versus Beanstalk Giant is a very close pick. And it ultimately comes down to whether or not I think I can play a successful red-black deck. And I think having 2 knights to start things off, and especially 2 powerful knights, could be a good enough reason, especially because Embereth Shieldbreaker and Beanstalk Giant are both not at their best in green-black. So let's just take the Blacklands Paragon, even though I think that pick is incredibly close. Whew, and now yet another tricky pick. The immediate front-runners here. Mysterious Pathlighter could just be a way to just jump into a red-white deck potentially. It is very powerful, though there is also just a Foulmire Knight, which is a built-in 2-for-1, and is also another knight to go with my Blacklands Paragon. Keeps me seeing the black signal. And then in the commons there is a Rimrock Knight, which goes with my Embereth Shieldbreaker. It's also a knight to go with the Blacklands Paragon. And then there's an outflank. I don't think the blue commons are worth taking, and the Wildwood Tracker certainly is not worth taking here. This is actually really close. There's really, I think of the like cards. You're definitely not taking Outflank over Pathlighter, so we're going to just narrow it down to these three. And I think Foulmire Knight is slightly better than Rimrock Knight. Rimrock Knight is definitely really good in your aggressive decks, but I think Foulmire Knight is going to get you a lot of value a lot of the time and can just be really annoying. Mysterious Pathlighter is quite good, though. It is hard to get too much of a gauge for how open white is at this point. But this card does work really well with my Shield Breaker. It'll make it a 3/2. It's also just a flyer. It's pretty good. But yeah, I think we'll just take the Foulmire Knight, follow up a black card with another black card. It's also a knight for our kind of knights synergies going on, though it already has Death Touch, which makes it a little bit worse compared to the black lands. Yeah, I think it's close here, but Foulmire Knight just gives me... We've just got a lot of value going on here with our red-black deck so far. And now we can follow that with a Reeve Soul, one of the best commons, and keeps me heavy into black. I could still branch into a second color. I think Hypnotic Sprite is a pretty powerful card, but it does require a heavy blue commitment, and also there is a very strong common that I just really want to take over it here. So I think we'll take that here. I don't think Cauldron's Gift is very good. You just really need to have a good creature worth getting back, and that creature has to have already died, so you kind of have to draw the cards in a specific order, and it just leads to problems. Okay, so we started with a red card, and then we've taken 3 powerful black cards in a row. And now we find ourselves faced with Fairy Guidemother, which is a good card, and one that I do think is like powerful. But the problem being is that Fairy Guidemother wants you to be a heavy white deck. So you want to be running like 9 or 10 planes, but I already have a couple of cards that want me to be black early, and I do already have this red card. Looking at other options, there is a Barge In, which doesn't work great with my humans, because I think this is a human, so I guess we have only one non-human. And then there is a Merfolk Secret Keeper, which is the type of card that you can just take a gamble on in this spot, but I generally try not to draft Mill too much, because, I mean, everyone just drafts Mill, and it's super common, so I like to try other things, and I'm kind of milled out. See what I did there? So I think in a draft where you're not trying to avoid Mill, Merfolk Secret Keeper is just a slam dunk pick. It pairs well with these black cards, but I'm debating whether or not to take something else just to get a new experience and show you guys off some other cool things you can do in this format. And I think I'm going to lean towards just taking Witch's Oven. There are a lot of cool things you can do with Witch's Oven. It doesn't necessarily fit into a typical like red-black aggro deck, but you can definitely potentially do some cool things. I guess these cards can all kind of be splashed in a white deck, so maybe we just take the Guidemother and then see what direction that leads us towards. Though Witch's Oven can kind of go into a grindy black deck. So yeah, let's just take the Witch's Oven and then see what happens. And now there's a red cap melee, a very powerful removal spell coming around super late. Definitely going to just snap this one up. This card is very first pickable. Getting it pick 6 is a huge signal that red might be open. And then... other than that, there's a Fairy Guidemother. We just passed one. We could have gotten another one if we had taken that route, but we would have still just taken the red cap melee. And it's a Reaper of Night, which I think is a solid card, but we'll definitely just slam the red cap melee. So there's a lot of white cards coming around late here. The best one in this pack is Silverflame Squire. We're going to take it here and see if we end up into a white deck. We've passed 2 Fairy Guidemothers in a row, and now there's a third pretty good card here. So let's just take the Silverflame Squire over the Ritual and the Rally for the Throne, and then maybe we end up in a white deck after all. Really late Guidemother here. I think we're getting beaten over the head with white. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Farmer Babe, for the follow. I really appreciate it. Here, I think it's between Guidemother and Outflank. I think the Guidemother is just more important, so I'm going to take that over the Outflank. And we have been seeing a lot of white cards, so we could still just go into any direction in the Mardu colors. Here, we're going to take a 7 Dwarves over a Curious Pair. We haven't really seen a reason to be green here. Promoting Fruit's okay, but we really want to make sure we get 2 drops if we are going to be an aggressive deck. And now, Jousting Dummy is always going to make the cut. So we'll just take that as a pretty solid card. I guess now we'll just take Signpost Scarecrow. You never know if you'll need an extra playable. Hengewalker, not really going to be making the cut in this deck. Okay, so we've been seeing a lot of white cards, but we didn't end up actually taking a lot of them because they just didn't really line up with the cards we already had, or there was like slightly inferior options. Like we ended up taking Witch's Oven over a Fairy Guidemother. So we're still not sure what our colors are. Here in this pack, I think it's a... I'm leaning towards just taking the Clockwork Servant. The best cards in the pack are green. There's a Garenbrig Paladin and a Beanstalk Giant. I think I would take Beanstalk Giant over Clockwork Servant, and I think I would take Clockwork over Garenbrig usually, if I was going to be heavy into a color. But I think this is just a pretty clear Clockwork Servant. It keeps me a little bit more open, more flexible, and it gives me a chance to see what's going to be open. But I definitely am going to be in one combination of these colors, and I would like to put myself into a white deck if I can. I think most likely into red-white at this, into black-white at this point, potentially. Red Cap Melee might have just been an anomaly, but we did see a decent number of black cards. We got past Blacklance, got past Foulmire, got past Reeve Soul. So black-white is looking like a solid place for me to end up. Black-white, a kind of grindy deck. Whoo! Covetous Urge is quite powerful, but it is hard to cast, and my deck is probably going to be split across two colors because I don't have enough really tools to be super heavy in one color. So I think here just taking another Clockwork Servant, giving myself 2 strong playables in whatever color I end up in. Noticing there's a Barrow Witches in this pack, but I think we just want to take the Clockwork Servant over Covetous Urge. Okay, keeping with the idea of us ending up in a black-white deck, keep in mind we got past the red cap late, and we first picked Embereth, but it's looking like we're going to be in a black-white deck here, which should be pretty solid for us. I don't think we want Signpost Scarecrow, but we'll keep it in for now. In this spot, I think we just take Glass Casket. It's a great removal spell. It powers up any Flutter Foxes we end up with, and I think it's comparable to Reeve Soul. Though these are quite close. I'm not actually sure which one I'd rather have here. I'm also think I'm more likely to be a white deck and heavy white than a black deck and heavy black at this point, because I've been seeing a lot of white cards, and there's also a Shepherd of the Flock in this pack. So maybe I just take Glass Casket, because that'll make it easier on my mana. So I'm gonna change, and I'm just gonna take the Glass Casket. We get an Archon here, definitely taking that over Reeve Soul, even though Reeve Soul is good. We're seeing a lot of the white cards and getting paid off this pack. So this is going pretty well. And now, there's a Jousting Dummy, which is just a really easy on the mana card. Wicked Guardian does curve out nicely with Clockwork Servant. Don't really want to play Hengewalker. It doesn't really work out with a lot of my other cards, so I don't think we're going to take that here. We'll probably just take Jousting Dummy to get a nice 2-drop that's also a Knight. There's a Ginger Brute. There's also a Shining Armor. So with, how many Knights do we have? 1 Knight. It works pretty well with that. Works pretty well with Black Lance. We have a lot of low toughness Knights that could really benefit from getting +0, +2, but I think we're just going to take Ginger Brute. It's higher upside, and certain aggressive decks really want that card. Now we'll take a True Love's Kiss. We'll definitely main deck 1 copy of this. There's a lot of artifacts and enchantments running around, if our deck doesn't have the tools we need, of course. And now we'll take a first Shining Armor. Maybe we want that effect. We could hedge back towards red by taking Weaselback Red Cap. I guess that way if we open something really good in red, we could move back in with our 3 red cards. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. I'm just going to take... Actually, but we don't want the 1-drop. I think we'll just take Ogre Errant for that role of hedging back towards red. And now, Crystal Slipper. We're not going to need Crystal Slipper. Garenbrig Paladin should not be coming this late. But... And now, Bartered Car or Embereth Paladin. Let's just take... I don't really want to play the Idyllic Grange necessarily, but I could see it slotting in. Princess, sure. We never want more than 1 True Love's Kiss, so we'll just take these cards and let's see what we open pack 3. So nothing too spectacular here. Our rare doesn't fit in our colors, even though it's pretty solid in most blue decks, or a lot of blue decks at least. This is a blue-white card. This card's not very good, especially in best of 1. You never really main deck this card. Headhunter is kind of disappointing. Not really a great card, in my opinion. The best commons are... I guess we gotta get a Reeve Soul. Never mind, this isn't that disappointing. Reeve Soul's pretty solid. Definitely a card we're happy to get. Brimstone Trebuchet's okay, but we're going to be a black-white deck. And then Lonesome Unicorn's a pretty solid one as well. Whew. I've never actually had to pick between Venerable Knight and Fairy Guidemother, but I'm not even sure which one's better. It's actually kind of a close pick. I think it's definitely between those two. Lonesome Unicorns gets a little bit of a dip after those two. I think we just want the 1 mana 2/1 versus 1 mana 1/1 flyer that gives me more utility late. I think Fairy Guidemother might just be better than Venerable Knight, which is saying something. Flyers are really good in this format. Giving things flying is really good in this format. I do like having Knights. We're not really a Witch's Oven deck here, nor are we a Gingerbread deck. Hopefully we don't have to play Knight of the Keep. I was trying to figure out, I think Guidemother's probably just better. Yeah, let's take it. We want the evasion, and we also want the we want the evasion and the ability to just push through damage. And now we'll take a Trapped in a Tower over a Lonesome Unicorn. Pretty clear pick here. Very good removal spell. And now Flutterfox. This deck is really coming together. Considering that we almost like missed out on the white train by taking... I forget now what we took over, but we took like some red card over a Fairy Guidemother. Or no, we took Witch's Oven over it. Which is a solid enough pick because Witch's Oven can combine into a lot of grindy black decks, which at the time we might have had, but pretty happy to get this Flutterfox now. There's also a Smitten Swordmaster, but I think Flutterfox is definitely just better in this deck. We have a decent number of artifacts. Now we can pick up a youthful Knight. This deck is really coming together. Forever Young definitely slots in. Can get back some of our key cards like Archon, Blacklands Paragon, Falmire Knight for tons of value. Whoo! Outflank pretty late here. Nice little removal spell to add to our roster of removal spells. How many creatures do we have? Because Silverflame Ritual is definitely a card I want. Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 creatures right now. Not all that many. I think we just want the Outflank, even though Outflank also needs you to have a lot of creatures. Silverflame is really good with Fairy Guidemother, and I guess we could play Gingerbrute. And a Knight of the Keep. So we have more creatures than it seems. I think we just need the Outflank. Better removal. Oh, yes. Rewarded. We get a Silverflame Ritual now. That's perfect. And Lonesome Unicorn to just up our creatures even more. This deck is really coming together. Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh. Back-to-back like Winnies. I like it. Oh, yes. This deck really came together. Memory Theft would be a good sideboard card, but we don't really want it. Okay, let's see what we're working with here. We can probably cut the Knights of the Keep now that we got there on with 2 Lonesome Unicorns. What's our worst card here? I think all of our cards are pretty good here. We don't even need to make any cuts. Unless we want to cut the Gingerbrute. Gingerbrute only has synergy with my Flutterfox, giving it flying. With Silverflame Ritual a tiny bit. I could see going up to 11-6 even, maybe. What do we want to cut here? We could make one last cut. I think we want to run Idyllic Grange. Getting an extra counter can be a big game. I think we could just... Let's look at our curve. Yeah, we don't have any 3-drops. We're going to cut a Gingerbrute for a Knight of the Keep. Just getting a 3-mana 3/2 into the deck. It is also a Knight, which has minor relevance. Could just be exactly what we need. And Gingerbrute's not very good in our deck. Yeah, I think this is a pretty solid build. I'm pretty happy with it, and let's see how it performs in the matches. Welcome to round 1. On the draw, 2 lands and a 3-drop. And an Archon. Not both our colors. I think we're going to mulligan this. We're an aggressive deck. Yeah, this is much better. I think I'm pretty happy that this Knight of the Keep isn't a Gingerbrute. Wow, perfect mana, too good. That was bad. I should have done it post-combat, but it does depend on what I draw to some degree, whether or not I want to attack, but... Yeah, we're totally going to lose this game. We don't have any removal. Yeah, we're so dead. Jeez, this is one of the best curve outs I've ever seen in my entire time watching Eldraine. Four, 9, 13, so I have to chump block. Yeah, there was nothing I could have done here. Like, I guess if I didn't attack with this thing, I could have double blocked that thing a turn ago. Yeah, I'm just dead no matter how I swing it here. Yeah, that was a game. Whew. Hello and welcome. We are going to keep this hand. Definitely lead with a Fairy Guide Mother. Okay. Now we will wait on playing this Guide Mother because it'll punch through more damage. Like if they put like down a creature, then this thing will get in for 4, whereas this thing will only hit them for a couple turns. Hey Joe, welcome. We'll probably get rid of a planes. Honestly, we're just gonna get rid of both planes. I don't know why I attacked with Guide Mother, it didn't really matter. Sure. They're holding up a runaway together. I think we'll go for the Silver Flame Squire. I think we're going to use outflank on... No, because then... Yeah, I think we'll use outflank. Because then if they have run away together, we don't lose our guy. No, but we do. I think we just really can't beat run away together. Dang it, they have it. Gosh darn it. Oh. Oh, that's way better. This thing's coming down soon. We'll save our trapped in a tower for that. So we milled a couple of our black cards and also one of our swamps. I think them hitting us for 2 doesn't really matter, because we'll trap in a tower this. Because then we get them for 3 down to 9. And Lonesome Unicorn's actually really big here. Using Trapped in a Tower might seem mana inefficient, but the real key is that this is like a 6-point life swing, kind of. I guess we could have chumped it for a turn. I think we attack with these 3. No, we do not. We have Silver Flame Ritual in our deck. Attack here, they'll double block, or just single block with that. Oh dear. I don't think I have any outs. Yeah, definitely have no outs. There's so many cards. They can just equip this to a Smitten Swordmaster now. Oh, gosh. Yeah, we're dead. So dead. If I do draw Silver Flame Ritual, it could have been interesting, but yeah, we're dead. We can chump block for a turn, but it's not going to make a difference. Whew. Yikes. Yikes, yikes. Round 3, we did sub in the Ginger Brute for the Knight of the Keep. I just felt so ashamed having Knight of the Keep in my deck. But, ooh, good job, little dragon guy. Oh, we have the counter to Ginger Brute. It's known as a Ginger Brute of my own. We're gonna just trade blows for now. We have so much removal that it's okay to start just using it. So we'll start with a Glass Casket on the Garen Rig. Reef Soul can kill a lot more 4-drops than... And it can kill basically every 3-drop and some of the 4-drops. Or even 5-drops. Like, we have 3 removal spells in this hand. We were going to use the Guide Mother, but now we'll just use the Lonesome Unicorn guy. And that works really well with Blacklands Paragon, because Blacklands can give the thing Death Touch and Lifelink. And by the thing, I mean the Knight token. That works out really nicely. That's even better. I think we can get a little bit greedy because we still have some time. Because getting the value out of this is really nice. Whew. Oh, ooh la la. Well, now we'll Reef Soul this, so we can Trapped in a Tower this, so we can True Love's Kiss this. We'll just wait. They'll probably tap out for 2 Unveiled Tree Folk. We'll end step kill. Now this is tricky. The question is, can we win if Revenge of Ravens is in play? No, I don't think we can. We just have to let them get their 2-for-1. I don't know why I did it that way. I kind of want to trap this. Hit them for 4. They play 2 Unveil. I then have Black Lance. Playing the Lonesome Unicorn is going to be good at some point too. We have them on a, not 4-turn clock because they do have this food token. We have them on an okay clock. Okay. We're in good shape. I think we can maybe even start holding back Guide Method to chump block something and then pop the Unicorn into the skies. That's a 5 damage hit right there. Okay. So this could potentially help us get lethal. So if I attack with everything, give this unblockable. So we'll give this Death Touch, this +2/+2. This is kind of exactly how we wanted it to work out. Wow. This is a brutal turn. They won't have time to sacrifice their food. They go to 4, they lose their entire board. I keep my 3/3, gain to 3/1. Boom, and we got the win. Our deck is finally on the board, and let's see if we can keep it going. Hello, and welcome to round 4. We are going to keep this hand on the play. We have a nice aggressive start. 1 drop, 2 drop, pump it up, jump into the sky. Ah, the guide, mother. Prepare to be guided. Okay. We kind of wanted those lands, not gonna lie. Would have actually kind of liked all those cards. But, you know, you just gotta treat them as what they are. They're just gone. Ah, the old Secret Keeper Gingerbrute deck. I'll just trade off. The Gingerbrute's 3 life. I'm not going to be able to get through it eventually, like, anyway. And I want to just get this card going. I'm actually really surprised they were running Gingerbrute, to be quite honest. If they have run away together, and they bounce my Clockwork Servant, I get to draw another card. We're doing this now because even if he does bounce them both, I get to play my Gingerbrute at least. Opt. Okay. That's fine. And then we'll just play our Fairy Guide Mother. Monster. Evil. Pure evil. Okay, we really want to draw Swamp so we can Reef Soul this Ardenvale Tactician when it comes down. That's going to be big. Because if we can Reef Soul and Trapped in a Tower, hit him for 4. Or maybe we just Reef Soul and don't care about the Secret Keeper. Come on, Swamp. We have 6 of them. Dang it, that was a letdown. The thing is with 2 Clockwork Servants, we really want 11 white sources, but it is a little bit of a tension with our black cards for sure. Dang, our opponent's deck is a pile. Well, I'm glad we didn't trap anything in a tower. Whoa. Aggressive. If we trapped something in a tower, the Guide Mother would have knocked it off. I think the Clockwork Servant is never going to get through his ground defenses, or her to ground defenses, though Jackson is kind of a guy's name, so it's probably okay to say his, but you know, you got to be careful. You don't want to be excluding females. Got to be an inclusive community. But so Guide Mother can block a Guide Mother, but I can Forever Young it back. Oh yeah, Forever Young is going to be sweet, especially because I'm against a mill opponent, presumably. We'll block because we can Forever Young it back. Oh, what a rip. That's so good. I think we want to put it onto a Guide Mother. Yeah, I know. I accidentally said the reason it was the problem rest in peace was because I said his, and then I kind of had to like go backwards. I could have said they for sure. I agree. I usually say they or their. I like switch back and forth Jasper, but I usually do Arena because it's more fun for viewers. But we can forever young back Clockwork Servant and Lonesome Unicorn. Probably don't need a Jousting Dummy though. We might get back the Fairy Guide Mother. That's kind of what I was thinking as well. Sure. So we're going to put back on Clockwork, Lonesome, and Guide Mother. I think we want it in this order. No, we want it in this order. Because we want to get the Guide Mother down as soon as possible. If this gets milled, it's less of a big deal. Sure. There was some thought to just not casting Lonesome Unicorn's token and just getting another point in with the Ginger Brute. I definitely considered that. Because then it's a 4-turn clock in the air versus a 5-turn clock. But this is just so much more mana efficient. Well, we're probably going to just trap that in a tower. 3, 7, 8. That's a free block. We could have chumped. They don't really have good attacks here. We'll Reef Soul something. We'll trap this in a tower. Oh. We'll do this one to get rid of the 3-3 because it plays around Combat Tricks a lot better. Similarly, this also plays around Combat Tricks. And this also plays around +2/+2. They can gain 3 life. Boom, and we get the W. 2 in a row. Let's go. Feels good. And we're back to an even record and kind of surging here. Let's go. Oh, and welcome. This is a rough hand, and I don't think we can keep... Our deck does not use lands very well. 5 lands is a lot, even though this draws us a card. Like, the fact that lands are a dead draw does not help. So we're going to mulligan that hand. And then we'll keep this one and get rid of a Reef Soul, because we want to kind of make up the card advantage loss, and also we don't have any black mana for a little bit anyway, so we can't kill certain threats with that. I don't know. We have a lot of removal, but getting back card advantage once we're a little bit down is helpful. We are playing against a lot of blue decks. We're going to do this because we don't have anything to do with our mana next turn, and this way we get through an extra point of damage. Whereas here, now we get in 2 points of damage instead of getting in just like 1 point of damage. I'm glad we drew that. That's a good draw. Whew. That was a fantastic draw too. Idyllic Grange is definitely good with Ginger Brute. Well, that's a nightmare. That is a nightmare. Covetous Urge is a beating. I think they have to take True Love's Kiss. Just wrecks my Ginger Brute. Yeah. Just no fear whatsoever on the block. Dang it, we need a swamp. Covetous Urge wrecked me so hard. I'm so sad. I think I kind of want to make them use it on this potentially, because I do have Trapped in a Tower and stuff as other artifacts / enchantments. Well, that's good. Let's just develop this. We want to make them use their mana this turn, So they can't crack Witching Well. So if they have like a runaway together. Nice, we killed it. Well, that was good for us. Now they don't get to draw a card. We made them waste their mana, and we can get it back with Forever Young, so all upside. Well, that was a nightmare, and we're dead. That was pretty well played from the opponent, but also, like, literally nothing we could have done about it at the same time, because I guess we could have held on to one. No, we didn't, because we drew 3 plays. We had all those in the play already. Yeah, there was literal nothing we could have done about that. And that's probably game. Like, I don't think we can come back. We don't have any extra card advantage. Forever Young. These are like our card advantage engines. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this game was just, yeah, not meant to be. Yeah, we're just going to concede here. Good game, opponent. I mean, yeah, they have a pretty solid deck. And things just did not line up well for us there. Well, at least we finished our quest. You know, that's always the priority. That is going to do it for this draft video. If you did make it all the way till the end, in the comment section down below, let me know by leaving hashtag... I don't know. What's a good hashtag? Hashtag brutal mind rot in the comment section down below, because that kind of crushed us. Brutal mind rot in the comment section down below. Let me know you made it all the way till the end of the video. Remember to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, join our community, check it out on twitch.tv/NicolaiBolas. And if you would like to support the channel further, you can do so via Patreon, patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. Get access to a ton of cool rewards. I do want to give a shout out to all of my patrons that support at the credits level and all levels. I really do appreciate your support. That is going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next time.